I am your host, Doc Rodden, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts, Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, and Dave Dreher, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. With me this week is my co-host, Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing?
You know what? I'm feeling super sweet.
Well...
Oh, no.
Blinky, winky. Blinky, blinky.
That's actually a quote from one of the movies we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm so upset now. All right. Yes, we are here to talk about two films that come out on various streaming channels in the coming weeks. But we also have more co-hosts. Also joining this week is Crystal Cleveland, the living dead girl. Crystal, how you doing?
I'm great. If people don't know now, we're recording Thanksgiving weekend, or week for those in the States. So yeah, I'm just happy to be watching this and then gonna get ready for, cooking lots of nom 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 nom.
I already ate all the pie.
It's going to be Turkey Day. Yeah. I wonder, gosh, do the people overseas laugh at us? I don't know.
Oh, they're like stupid Americans. God.
Also joining us, rounding out the crew, is Dave Dreher. Dave, you missed last week, you bugger.
I did. I'm trying to come up with a good quote. It says, just was so good. I got it. Wait, I got it.
Leave everybody speechless.
Why don't you just advertise your erectile dysfunction? There you go.
Oh, yes.
Yes. There we go. I win.
Yes, you do.
You do. That's the line that sticks out for you. All right. We have two.
It's a sensitive topic.
Apparently that's sensitive enough. All right, we have two wonderful films to talk about tonight. The first one is Nekrotronic, which is offered on Shudder, and the other is Into the Dark, a nasty piece of work, which is on HULU. But first, Dave, you missed last week, and we had films picked out specifically for you last week. So you are going to have to give us a brief but colorful review of these two films. The first one was called The Dwelling. What was your take?
Yes, it was a turd from our past, just repackaged in a fancy new package. That was Bed of the Dead back in the day. I disliked it then, and I disliked it even more this time. The Dwelling, no.
Yeah, I think we kicked you off onto the futon on that one. So
Yes, absolutely. That was a bad one. It took me about 10, 15 minutes into it. Be like,
wait a minute.
I've seen this shit before. I've smelled this smell before.
All right.
But I was excited for the supposed Bigfoot movie. What was it? What was the name of that one?
Animal Among Us.
Animal Among Us. Yeah. I believe I coined the term Fakefoot on this. Is another Bigfoot movie that was not a Bigfoot movie.
See, that's why we needed you here last week.
It pissed me off.
It pissed you off. Yes, but to coin the phrase Fakefoot, that is a remarkable thing. We should have been here. I should have
been here. Yeah, it was here with me. I shared it with you all later. But it was, if they didn't try to package it as a Bigfoot movie, I think I might have liked it a little more. But it really did just tick me off when it turned out what it was. And I was like, And
again, another no Bigfoot
Fakefoot.
Mm-hmm.
Fake. It's kind of a craze we've got going on here.
With a sub genre.
sub genre.
Just think how surprised we're going to be when there's actually a Bigfoot in one of them.
It's going to be amazing. What was that? What's that one that Kurtzman's supposed to be working on? Remember, they advertised it, or they didn't advertise it. Maybe that one might have some hope.
Okay.
I don't think Kurtzman would whip me off with a fake.
He's not going to lie. All right.
No, never. All right. Before we get into our reviews tonight, Gruesome Magazine is brought to you by ExpressVPN. A VPN is a virtual private network or a secure tunnel between your device and the internet. VPNs are used to protect your online traffic from snooping, interference, censorship, and fakefoots.
That's why we chose them as a sponsor.
Yes. We need protection from the Fakefoots. ExpressVPN offers rock solid privacy at blazing speeds, no compromises. Accelerate your VPN. They have servers everywhere, 160 locations across 94 countries.
Nice.
Keep your real location hidden from private eyes. Not private eyes, prying eyes. There are no restrictions.
Private eyes, they're watching you.
Yeah, you just derailed the whole thing. All right, they keep you anonymous. And they keep you secure. Now, this is the big one for me. They encrypt everything. That's the best way to keep your stuff private and yours. And they also have 24/7 help. Help. I could use some 24/7 help.
They do.
Wow, I got like songs.
They
in
do.
my head. They do.
Yeah, they do. Actually, I was having some issues this weekend, and I texted them, and we traded emails, and they were very responsive and very helpful.
And that's what you want to hear. That really
it was fixed.
All right. If you want to give ExpressVPN a try, and we hope you do, you can go to tryexpressvpn.com/gruesome magazine. And if you get a year, I think you get 3 months free.
You do indeed.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that sounds like a deal. All right. Up first is Nekrotronic. That sounds like a dance.
It does. Or a band.
Or a
band, yeah.
But it's neither. It is a sci-fi horror film from director Kiah Roache-Turner. The cast includes Ben O'Toole, Monica Bellucci, and Caroline Ford. Debuted November 21st, 2019 on Shudder. And, well, the synopsis goes like this.
Oh, God.
Howard North, a down-on-his-luck sewage worker, as they all are, gets dragged into a global conflict between necromancers, a family of badass demon hunters, and Finnegan, an evil demon who absorbs people's souls to increase their power. When Howard finds out the truth about Finnegan, he teams up with his new friends to discover he is the ultimate necromancer, the only one with the power to defeat her and save the world. That's right.
Yeah,
that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
You go.
Whoever wrote that,
whoever really wrote that, spoiler. No spoilers. Yeah.
You go, Howard. All right, let's find out what the crew thought. Jeff, you're up first. What's your first impression?
Okay, so I'm maybe a little bit embarrassed to say this, but I enjoyed this.
You're embarrassed to say you enjoyed it? Oh, that's fun.
Well, it's it's kind of juvenile. It's kind of but anyway, it's the same writer-director team, pair of brothers, that did Wormwood, if you remember that zombie film from Down Under a few years ago.
Love that film. Yes.
Yeah. And this, to me, felt like a kind of a weird combination of a graphic novel and a video game.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really, really way over the top, but in a fun way. There was a part of it, like maybe about the first half, I almost felt like I was watching a video game instruction video. Because every time something happened, they had to stop and explain it to Howard. What's going on here? You do this and you do this, and here's this and here's that, and then we're going to 3D print, But it quit doing that just in time. I don't know. I love the stupid potty humor. The sewage truck. Oh, that's pretty polite. That seemed a lot like what we call around here a honey wagon. That comes around and pumps out your septic tanks.
What?
A honey wagon.
That's what we call it. That's what they call them here too. Yeah.
Hey, you live in the country. I've never heard that before. I've never even seen one of those.
You never had to have your septic tank pumped?
No.
Where does your shit go? Pardon my
No, it goes down the tube.
Down the tube.
It's a series of tubes.
I don't know, to be honest. But yeah. Wow.
So anyway,
you might want to check into that.
Yeah, if you're in town, you don't have to worry about it most of the time. I don't think.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't try to figure out the logic of this world. I mean, they set up this elaborate world because it doesn't. It's really a bunch of nonsense. If they need something, they just make it up on the fly and do it. But who cares? I just had a blast watching this. It seemed like there was a couple of, kind of like continuity issues. Like there's one time Well, first off, was that door to the super secret powerful mainframe computer, was that in like a parking garage?
It seemed like it was, yes.
Okay, but no. You know what I think the whole thing was? I think they had like a big warehouse, and that was their whole set. And they used like the outside of it, and then they used the inside, and so. It was
but it doesn't say great big empty space, and here's a door over in the corner that says mainframe on it. And then there was a couple times where they had these helmets or headpieces or something that were like, one minute they didn't have them on, the next minute they had them on, and but you know what? Again, I didn't care. I like the characters. I thought it was great. I love the one sister, Torquell. I think they called her Tor. I liked Molly. I liked Howard. I loved Howard's sidekick, Rangi.
Oh yeah,
he was incredible. So I enjoyed the hell out of this, even though it was really kind of dumb. It was pretty good computer graphics, I thought. That's what I thought.
All right. That's what you thought. This is going to be fun. All right. Let's find out what Dave Dreher thought. Dave, what is your first impression of Nekrotronic?
Well, I'm going to join hands with Mr. Mohr and skip down the happy horror highway here. I really enjoyed this too. I went into this just expecting to hate the hell out of this thing, but it was actually a ton of fun. It was it is a weird mix. I mean, it's almost got like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer, a supernatural, like a TV movie kind of vibe. Like the henchman guys with the fish hooks in their face or whatever they are. He's got the
demons.
The henchmen. Yeah, the henchmen. They just look like something out of Buffy the Vampire Slayer to me. That's exactly what I thought it was. But again, it's all kind of done with fun. I really enjoyed all the characters, really, but particularly Mr. North and his whatever, his sidekick or his best friend who turns into
right.
Turns
a Wraith?
into a ghost. Yeah.
Wraith the Ghost.
It was good. None of it makes any sense. It really doesn't. But no, it doesn't really matter. It was kind of brain dead fun, and I actually watched it twice. I watched it the first time. I'm like, I couldn't possibly have liked that as much as I think I did. So I watched it a second time. I'm like, holy shit, I did. I really like this. So yeah, Nekrotronic. Big thumbs up from Dave.
Big thumbs up. Well, that's awesome. All right. Also, Crystal, what is your first impression of Nekrotronic?
So, okay, I don't think I liked it as much as these two did, but yeah, I liked it too. I'm kind of embarrassed to say it as well, because I even look at it and I go, why? Like, I found some of the things that they did that I should hate, and I liked it a lot. And that makes me mad about myself, okay? Because I'm like, those glowing eyes that they had throughout the whole thing, I'm like, that is just stupid. And I kept looking at them. I'm like, I really like it. I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
I liked it. Like,
I want my eyes to glow like that.
Yes. And I was like, ooh. And then sometimes they were blue, and then sometimes they were yellow. And I was like, yeah. I was like, wow. And then they even changed it's such a silly thing. And I was like, yeah, it's good. I have to agree. The story, there's a story. Okay. There is a story, and it's a story, and it's kind of not a story. I don't know. I have to agree. It's totally confusing to me. You get it, but you also don't get it, because they're just demon hunters. They're demon hunters, and that's all that really matters. Right. You know, I mean, and I'm like, well, okay, she's the mom, and another thing that I really found kind of cool too is that they have a lot of references to like other horror movies. Like, I mean, didn't y'all think the boxes, like the Hellraiser box?
Oh yeah,
boxes, yeah.
Sure, yeah,
absolutely.
You know, there was just so many different little things, and honestly, since we're doing it, just first thoughts, like, the craziest part about it is it's funny, but it's not too funny it's not completely campy. Not really. It's kind of a weird in between. It's lighthearted for sure, and it has funny moments, but it's not silly. Like, you don't have Hitler on a T-Rex.
No Hitler.
But yeah, overall, yes, I probably need to watch it again, and I bet y'all even like it more because I thought about it because I was like, I kept thinking about it the next day, and I was like, oh, that was pretty funny. That was funny too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just give a quick shout out to Monica Bellucci for being in this.
Oh,
film.
yeah.
Yes.
She was
She's so hot.
Yeah, she's spelling the most ridiculous dialogue ever, but she makes it her own. I was pleased with that. And Caroline Ford made a huge impression on me as one of the sisters. I was like, yeah.
Oh, and okay, so when the sister, well, without giving too much away, she basically becomes Mystique. I mean, even her hairstyle. Did you?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I was like, that was such a great reference to. I was like, oh, that's. Sorry. Yeah. Continue. Sorry, my bad. Thought that was cool.
This is over the top. It is silly. It is lighthearted. It's goofy, but it's got like tons of demons, tons of different types of demons. Because you got Finnegan is one type of demon, and she's got like henchmen that are slightly different. And yet there's also tons of ghosts running around, and then there's wraiths running around, and then you've got, was it Gabby?
Chopping off the heads of necromancers.
Oh yeah, and stick them in boxes so they can power up things. And then then you got Rangi, who's something in between, and there's so much fun all around with creativity, and then on top of it, the direction style is very much in the style of Sam Raimi and early Jackson, right? And it's very kinetic and all over the place, almost to a detriment at times. But I think once these guys kind of reel that into a nice even temper, I think they're really going to knock some great movies out. Because I loved Wormwood, and this is a very similar film in the way it's edited together, the kineticness of it. Because you always get these quick shots to somebody like putting a glove on really quick and making a fist right and getting all ready for battle. And so the action is very MTV kind of bang bang bang, but in a tolerable way, in a way that's actually fun. So there's a lot going on here. The story is wobbly and doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And like Jeff said, it seems like they're just kind of like, well, what do we need to get this person here? Well, let's do this. Okay. And it's fine. It's kind of in the spirit of what this movie is. I don't think I liked it as much as Dave and Jeff either, but that doesn't mean I didn't like it. Yeah. We'll stop right there and we're going to talk about this because I feel like I'm going to talk myself out of it if I keep going. But I liked Ben O'Toole as Howard. I thought he was charming and funny. So Jeff, what did you think of the cast? Is there anybody that stood out? Did Ben stand out for you, or did you find Bob Savia as Rangi?
I like the 5 leads. I thought were really good. None of them rang true. I loved Tess Haubrich as Tor. I just loved that character. She was like the badass. Even though Carolyn Ford as Molly was she was sort of the lead sister, I guess. She was the one that did the communicating and made the plans, but Tor kicked ass, and she looked it. And I loved Epine Bob Sevilla. I love that character, and I love the way he played him and the things they had him say and do. So yeah, I like the cast a lot. I didn't think there was, and I even like the these sort of rage demons or whatever they were that they would create and have them come after them. The first couple were really nasty. they had the movements down to just seem totally unnatural. Later, when they had more and more of them, I think it was a little hard to keep up, but still, it was good.
Can anyone tell me why he didn't know what he was before whatever? Because I don't know what happened to make him all of a sudden know what he was. I'm super confused about that.
Well, his father put a chip in his neck, right?
Right. Yeah. That game, the phone game, malfunctioned the chip that was in his neck, and they were able to locate him.
Okay. I'm so stupid. Because I was like, I watched it. I actually watched that part twice. I still didn't completely understand why the game did that. Okay.
Yeah, and then Uncle or whoever that guy was, Luther, explained it all to him.
Yeah.
He sure did.
The Scrambler. I knew he had the
A little
Scrambler.
bit of
in his
exposition.
neck, but
He was Captain Exposition, yes. David Wenham. Did anybody recognize him from 300 and
yeah, there was. I think I saw him in something else.
yeah, the cast was amazing. Like, no one bothered me, which is shocking because usually someone does. I'm like, but no, they were all good. The head thing was creepy too.
I think they could have done more with that. I was wanting more with the heads all in those boxes. That was fascinating.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that too. I was like, and then the cussing and everything. I was like, I enjoyed that way too much.
Dave, you've been quiet. Chime in here. Was it gory enough for you?
The blood CGI was pretty bad. They actually, some of the effects were good. I liked the CGI demons and ghosts,
Right.
especially when he was looking at them through the phone app. I thought were really good, but the CGI blood effects were horrid. But they married them with some actually quite exceptional practical effects, and they made it work. But yeah, there was a couple of that. The first run-in they have in with one of the possessed people or whatever when they're out there on the street. And they chases him into that warehouse or whatever, and
with the axe,
yeah, knocked him off. That looked horrible. I mean, that just looked really, really bad. It really did. And I was like, "Ooh, that's unfortunate," because the guy's practical makeup, the zombie makeup, was good, and even afterwards, when they were standing around talking, the practical makeup effects were pretty stellar. But yeah, that CGI didn't cut it for me.
CGI didn't cut it.
And that's what I was thinking of when I said I like the computer graphics. It's mostly the electronic and the
that
supernatural
that looked good.
stuff.
It reminded me of the same quality CGI they had like in the new Ghostbusters movie. When they had those like really super high def, really clear apparitions.
Yeah,
just very colorful and interesting to look at. But yeah, it's too bad. I wish they should have just stuck with practical for the beheadings and stuff.
But Dave, Torque's fingers explode.
Yes. Indeed they do. Yes. Yep. Would you think that was CGI?
Yeah.
I really like this movie a lot. I don't really want to say anything too bad about it, but if there was an area they could have improved, it was definitely with the CGI effects for certain.
Well, you think that's just budget? Because I mean, this is a fairly ambitious film for what it's.
I think it would have to be, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't know any other reason why it wouldn't be, other than financial.
I think so.
They seem to have somebody on board that could do practical effects. So it just must have been too expensive to pull off.
Because a couple of the demons look practical.
Yeah.
The horned big demons, like the one at the end, right? So, all right. Well, we talked about Wormwood as the primer for this, the first feature film. Crystal, have you seen Wormwood?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
So,
check
am I missing something? Okay.
You are missing something. But given what you have seen from this director, does this film make you want to see more from him?
Oh yeah. I liked the movie. I mean, I liked it. I think I think this movie could have been great. What's crazy though is normally I could tell you, if they had done this or that. I don't know what I would have changed, exactly, but there's something about it felt a little sloppy. And
I would agree.
Yeah. And so I think that's what's making me not just really just love it. And like I said, had I watched it again, I'd probably like it a little bit more because I probably wouldn't take it as seriously or whatever. So it'd just be more fun than anything else. But I agree with you. I think that when you mentioned, I think they're probably still coming into their own and, probably getting their style and stuff down. I think it takes some time to really, get into your groove. But yeah, the shots were nice. And typically I would really be turned off by so much CGI because there was a lot. But I don't know, it kind of worked. The whole thing kind of felt otherworldly, and I guess that's kind of the way it was supposed to feel. I mean, it didn't feel like it was set in our time.
It
as
didn't.
it were, as
it
well.
didn't. Felt like a different world. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of part of it for me. I mean, I think the idea of the game is kind of fun too. Oh, you see ghosties. It was clever, but it wasn't explained as well and wasn't mapped out as well. And I agree with you. I think they probably tried to tell a little bit too much in the format that they did it. But yeah, overall, it's good. And I would definitely watch something else from that for sure.
I can't recommend Wormwood enough. I love Wormwood. Probably too much. All right. Let's wrap this up. Let's give our favorite scene and our score for Nekrotronic. I think, Jeff, you're the first up. What is it, dude?
So you need to watch this. This is dropped on Shudder maybe, last Thursday, the 21st, I think?
As we're recording. Yep.
Yeah, as we're recording. Turn off your... what's the word I want? Your
brain.
Yeah.
That's
it. Yeah. Turn off your critical thinking and
don't be cynical. Don't go into the cynical. Yeah.
Just go with it. And this is where Howard said to Molly, I want to hear you say everything is going to end up super sweet.
Oh, yeah.
And so she told him. So anyway, that's where that came from. So, oh boy, I feel like I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to do it.
Oh my God.
Here comes
the
limb. Here comes the limb.
Yeah. Here comes the limb. I'm going to give this a 4.
Nice.
Wow.
I just had a blast
Okay.
watching this.
Wow.
Got a lot of faults, but you know what? It made up for it with fun, I think. Favorite scene, I'm just going to say when Rangi's comes back and his face is like all scarred up.
Mm.
And then he keeps trying to make it better. I don't know. I just loved any scene with him in it. I just loved.
It was funny. It's funny. Well, Jeff, the Nightingale Mohr, I did not expect you to like this one in contrast, but I'm so happy you did.
There are
Dave,
many sides to me.
There are many. You are complex, sir. All right, Dave Dreher, what is your score and favorite scene for Nekrotronic?
With Jeff out on that limb, I'm not quite as far out on the limb, though. I'm going to give it a 3.5. But I also enjoyed this a lot. I literally did watch it a second time just today and loved it even more. I think it's definitely going to be one that sticks around with me for a while. I might watch it yet even again. Did anybody else think the lead guy looked like Tony Stark?
Yeah, he kind of does.
Yeah, I really
certain faces. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just kind of, I was like, wow, he could like body double Robert Downey Jr. But yeah, it was good. It was fun. There's just a lot of really fun things in there, but you have to turn your brain off because none of it makes any sense. But it's okay. It's not supposed to. And actually, I think Jeff and I are kind of sharing the same scene because I think the piece he said was his favorite scene. I'm going to go with that whole hospital room scene when they're in the hospital room and his friend comes back and he's like turning into smoke and he's floating around and stuff. I just like, but I think that's also the same scene. And that's the scene where he takes his hand and smacks it against the wall and like it all
looks like Venom. I was like,
he's like, what the hell is that? And that just whole.
And then he just walks around doing it over and over because it's fun.
Yeah.
It's addictive, he said. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking of where he got scarred. He gets like.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I'm gonna go with the hospital room scene.
There we go.
That whole scene leading up to his mother coming in and confronting him. That whole scene I thought just played really well.
Nice. Crystal, what is your score and favorite scene for Nekrotronic?
okay, I agree. Like, watch it with your brain off and don't think too hard because it'll make your brain hurt if you try to, do too much with it. I'm not that far off. I'm giving it a 3. Yes, that's really good. I think that's.
Yeah.
And my favorite scene. Oh my god! And it's kind of messed up that it made me laugh, but I'm just gonna call it the head popper in the van. Okay,
that was good
because it cracked me up. Because just the reaction. It's like, oh my god, it's so bad. Like trying to help someone, and then he just yeah.
And I was totally wrong. I was like, oh well, they're not going to be able to bring her back. Whoops.
Oh yes, I know. Yeah. Actually, I really liked that, and I'm like, why do I like this? This is just a cop out, and it's okay. Yep.
All right. Well, for me, I enjoyed this film, but not as much as you guys. I'm going to go with a 2.75 because I think 2.5 is too low.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it because I did. It's definitely worth watching. And if you live in a state where you can get some, medically approved enhancements, is that the right way to put it? I would imagine if you're
What you talking about, Doc?
If you were high as a kite, this would be a hilarious movie.
Oh yeah.
My favorite scene. I'm gonna go with the demon scene versus what's her name, Molly, at the end, and you get something that's a little surprising that happens to her, and I was kind of shocked. But I thought that demon at the end looked really sweet.
Okay, did you think it was kind of like it kind of looked like a little bit like Pumpkinhead, a little bit? Did you think that, or was that just me? It had a Pumpkinhead-ish type face, kind of a little bit reminiscent of
kind
like
of a body
an
structure,
nose.
right?
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of a few things. It looked great, by the way. That was one of my favorite parts too.
Yeah. All right, that's Nekrotronic from Kiah Roache-Turner, and it is available now on Shudder starting November 21st. So as you're hearing this, it should be out there, and I think we gave it a go see it kind of review.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you would like to support Gruesome Magazine, the best way to do it is share the word. Yes, share the podcast. Tell your friends. Review on iTunes. Let other people know. And that's the best way to help us out. Yes. All right.
Yes.
Yes. I have spoken. All right, that's a different podcast. All right, Into the Dark, a nasty piece of work. Our second film of the night. Now, Into the Dark is a series of films that is on Hulu. It is produced by my favorite company, Blumhouse. So I might be biased going into these, but a nasty piece of work is their Christmas film because they do one each month and it's kind of holiday based. It's from director Charles Hood. The cast includes Dustin Milligan, Angela Serafin, and Julian Sands. Oh, was that?
Oh, Julian.
A return to form, we'll just say. It airs December 3rd, 2019 on Hulu. The synopsis goes like this. A mid-level employee at a large company finds out he's not getting the Christmas bonus or promotion he was expecting. But then his boss invites him over for dinner for a proposal for how he can climb the corporate ladder by beating his professional rival at violent competitions. That might be accurate. Let's find out what the crew think. Crystal, you are up first. What's your first impression of a nasty piece of work?
So I think I need to be very clear when I say this, that I love Julian Sands. No. It's unhealthy. I mean, I've met him several times, thankfully, and he's old. Okay, he's old, and he's so hot. He looks so good, and I think I love him a little bit more than I love Barbara Crampton, which is crazy. So I am totally tainted toward this movie, and I really liked it.
Old. He's only 61. I'm just going to bark here.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's so young. Young. No, but
Too late.
isn't it like it started with Warlock, I remember, and I'm like, he's lovely, he's so wonderful. Yeah, I just got to get off this because otherwise I'll just keep talking about him. But, so here's the deal with this movie. It has a complete story. It has a full story. It makes sense. It goes from one arc to another. It wraps up. It is really cute and funny to me. Like it's a little bit of a crazy ride, a crazy train. And you kind of have a few twists and turns, and you may know where it's going, but you might not know where it's going as well. And I mean, I think the characters to some degree are just as confusing as the story at points, but it makes sense. Some of the lines were really, really funny. The characters, I think, were incredibly cast. I mean, every one of them I loved. Some of the things that the characters do, some of the lengths that they go to pull off the things that they do are a little bit mind-blowing. But I think the set was amazing. I mean, I don't want to give too much away until we really start getting into it, but I dug this movie a lot. I found it fun, and I watched it twice. So, for me, it was a good one. I mean, the relationships between the couples, yeah, the whole thing is good. It's cute. I mean, is it the greatest horror movie ever made? Absolutely not. I mean, there's not even all that much gore at all. It's fun. It's fun. That's I liked it. It was fun. It's crazy. Julian Sands. Julian Sands. What? Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that's so weird?
Because not only do you like him, he was absolutely brilliant in this movie. This might have been one of my favorite roles for him in quite some time. I will support you on this. All right, Dave Dreher, sir, what was your first impression of Into the Dark? A nasty piece of work.
I am with Crystal. I love this movie. Actually, I'm likely going to go to hell because I like this movie a little too much. This is a warped movie. I mean, it really is. This movie is fucked up on a lot of levels. Yeah, not particularly gory, but it's really well written and incredibly well acted. Julian Sands is absolutely fabulous in this. Actually, pretty much everybody's absolutely fabulous in it. But he really stands out just with that accent and the lines that he's given to deliver, and he delivers them perfectly every time. Yeah, it's a warped little movie. I've also watched it twice now, and I'll probably watch it 2 or 3 more times during the Halloween season, the holiday season. This one could maybe even sneak into my top 10.
I like it
that much.
That.
So a lot of fun. We'll talk more when we get into the more spoilery stuff. But this one is a must-see one as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, wow. Nice. All right, Jeff Mohr, I can't wait to hear from you. A particularly nasty piece of work. What was your first thoughts?
You added an extra word to that title.
I did.
I liked it too. I thought Julian Sands was great. I love there are some twists and turns in there. I mean, when you get real close to the end, you can see what's coming, but I didn't see what was coming. Every time something happened, it was a surprise to me. I mean, there are certain things I knew were probably going to happen eventually, but the way they ended up happening was kind of fast. So I enjoyed it too. One of the things I liked was Julian Sands as this executive for Falconheart Ventures had sort of like his own version of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the Falconheart Ventures Rules for Success. And so the movie is laid out that way as a sort of like 7 chapters that are let off with one of those rules. And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was good. I looked at the placards and then it just went
totally
haywire by the time you
I kind of used it the wrong way a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why, and in my past work life, I had a lot of experience with those. In fact, I used to take pictures in companies that I went into of mission statements and values statements and all this stuff on the wall, and it felt like, I mean, it's a good thing. It's positive, but at some point it kind of feels like it's just all
bullshit.
Window dressing, yeah. Bullshit. Yeah. Is anybody really acting that way? So I thought this was. I loved this. How it just totally kind of tore that apart. I really liked the title sequence when Ted is bashing the restroom mirror with the Honda Japanese 4-star golf clubs, and they merge that into it being a Christmas movie with the shards of glass in slow motion with a black background, looking almost, serving us snow while they played, I think it was We Wish You a Merry Christmas.
It was.
Over the titles. I don't know. I love that. Also, Molly Hagan, which, that we watched the screeners and the credits weren't really complete, and they're not really complete in IMDb yet, I don't think either. But Molly Hagan plays Julian Sands' wife, and she is equally as off the wall.
Oh, yeah.
As she is.
Maybe more so.
Yeah, maybe flat out equal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, and also Angelina Serafian. That sounds good. She was good too. So was Dustin
Kyle
Milligan
Howard? No.
as well. Kyle Howard was good, but Dustin Milligan as this brown nosing guy that he's anyway. He was great too. It's a fun movie, and there's some good twists and turns in there.
Oh, there are. Well, I like what you're saying about the characters because they all have a little bit more depth to them than what you think. Even like Natalie Hall plays
the trophy wife,
and she's the trophy wife, but there's some depth to her by the time you get to the end of the film, and then and each character's flaws come out, but they also do things that are unexpected. Even Angela Serafian.
I think it's kind of looks like Serafian, right?
Serafian. We'll go with that. Who most people probably listening to this will recognize her from
Westworld.
Yes. And she is so beautiful. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she is.
And her and Kyle Howard are a couple, and Dustin Milligan and Natalie Hall are a couple, and then Julian Sands and who was the actress?
Molly Hagan.
Are the boss and the boss's wife, and there's a couple other cast members, but they're the main ones, and their interaction and the dialogue is so witty, and everybody's reaction is slightly different to every little twist and every little turn and every little action, and it really is a fun watch, and it's well written. It's not, I wouldn't say it's overly ambitious, but yet at the same time, it does reach beyond what you might think a film like this is. So I commend it. And just when I think I figured everything out, somebody gets up out of a chair and surprises me.
Oh my God, yes. Oh
my God, what's going on now?
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. That I was like, no, that's too far. That's really, guys.
But really, no, it worked, right? But it worked.
But what they did to him before that, I was like, what the hell is wrong with people? And then I'm like, oh God, it's even worse. It's just so horrible.
And Kyle Howard's reaction to all that just sold it so beautifully well.
That's so evil.
Oh man. And but I really, really am impressed with Julian Sands, and this makes me want to see him in more things. And maybe some of the maybe Jeff and Dave will back me up here. I got a Peter Cushing vibe off of him.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit, and even a little bit of a Peter O'Toole.
Yes, like a nice little blend.
Yeah. Oh, but I gotta ask, was that like the most ill-fitting dinner jacket you ever saw?
No,
I just kept thinking a rich guy would.
He was great. He was perfect.
Okay. For all I know, I've never had a dinner jacket, or smoking jacket, or whatever that was. So maybe that's exactly the way they're supposed to fit.
I don't know. It's very Hugh Hefner type, kind of like
sort of loose and boxy,
little big. Yeah. I think that's kind of part of it. But yeah,
I also loved the butler and the maid.
Especially,
my gosh, yes.
They're just coming around cleaning up after everything.
Oh God, it was so bad for him too.
Picking stuff up so they can take it back to where it belongs. Yeah. And the pacing was great. When you say, Dave, the pacing is really what helps make this film.
Yeah, for sure. It really doesn't miss a beat. I think on any front, it really don't. I mean, it keeps you guessing the whole time. Nothing. Well, like Jeff said, except for the end. I seen the ending coming, but up until the point when they walk outside, I didn't know what the hell that was all about, but once they got out there, I knew where it was going to head. When they said, "Oh, there's been one clear individual," and I'm like, "Oh, I know where they're going with this."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was a happy payoff, though, right?
It was. But up until that point, I had no idea what the hell was going on because they cried wolf so many times, and this almost to the point I was like, "How many times are they going to freaking fall for this?" Seriously, they're like buying into this again. And then they pull the rug out from under us, and it's it goes a completely different way. So, but that plays exactly into the pacing you're talking about. They play us like a fiddle.
Yep,
they do.
And that's how it worked because you think, okay, they're doing it again. That's just silly. It's just stupid. And then, you find out that there's things called remotes that do things, and it's like, oh, okay, that explains. Because I was watching and I'm like, okay, she grabbed the other gun. And I was really trying to I really do. Like, I watched this and I played this through my head and I'm like, oh, okay. It got very confusing. And then, of course, all is explained and all makes sense. And it's all, yeah. Like,
I love the hammer. That's not a hammer. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, what's so interesting is all of that stuff was meant to show character. And
Right.
I mean, it does. I think that's why this was a fun movie, because it really is all about people's character and what they do and why they do what they do. And these people do it in such an awful way. It's like, I didn't even really hate them. Not really, but I do think everything was well deserved at the end. It's like, well, it's interesting. I didn't really hate anyone. I think if I were to hate anyone from here, I think it would have to be Gavin. He's a bad boy. Like, he's a bad guy. He's like, whatever it takes.
But he was motivated, right? I mean, we understood his motivation. We understood that flaw. It, right or wrong, it was something that we could relate to or understand.
Well, every place it works,
it, right?
Yeah. One of those swarmy people are at every job site.
Maybe not to that extreme, but
right.
So
I mean, yeah, it's like he was willing to do anything, but he got his too. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm.
He got the worst of most of them, didn't he?
Yeah. Actually, twice. That's my favorite part. One just wasn't enough, and then he laughs and says, "I just couldn't resist." I'm like, that's
but they did mess with the wrong one, right? When see,
the quiet one, and she's clearly the smartest one,
right?
Of course, that's why I say make a decision and just do it. Exactly, just do it. And she didn't have any hesitation.
She's the mediator.
Yeah. And sometimes
she mediated.
Yes, she did. At some point, it's time.
A couple times, but yeah, toward the end.
Here's the thing. I don't believe in murdering people, but I do think there is a time to kill. There's a difference. Mm-hmm.
Oh, here comes Scary Crystal again.
No, but right, like how? What? She did the right thing. These people were like,
oh yeah,
you don't know how,
for sure.
Oh, I expected somebody to do it far earlier than that.
Yeah, that was not going to turn out well for them. They would have been lucky to make it out alive, especially with all those dudes. All the
board or whatever the hell.
Yeah, they gained power when she took control. Is really, what happened.
Yep.
Yeah. But
why didn't we think of it anyway?
Well, what's so funny about that though is that it's happened, when I've worked in offices and stuff, it's interesting. A lot of times you have to be a little bit more wary of your job when you make the most money because, alleviating one position frees up a lot of money. So, yeah, it's always a trip when, one of the VPs or something gets laid off and they absorb the position because it's like, whoa. But then you're like, oh, well, that was like $400,000.
Right.
Yeah. It's the easiest way.
Seen it happen.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's do this. Let's give our scores and favorite scenes for a nasty piece of work. Crystal, you're up first.
Well, obviously, I love this movie. I think that it has some really, really funny lines, some funny characters. I think, as much as I said, I think Gavin's the worst character. He is a riot. He's actually one of my favorites overall, as far as like the comedic relief he provides. I mean, he even dresses up as a knight. It's ridiculous. Okay, so I definitely say watch it. I'm giving this a 4. A 4.
A 4.
Nice,
nice.
It's probably definitely going to be in my top 10. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't want to take your.
Take it.
No, I'll say my favorite scene is the one that really starts it all, and a shotgun to the back of a teak rifle to the back of the head.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the beginning. That's the beginning. Yeah. So.
And I love the 4 different reactions. Right?
But let me tell you, I was sitting there and I was like, that is not the way you would play this. Why don't you come up with something better? And I was like, I was coming up with all of these different. I was like, no, this you need to say. You all have to become in agreement. Oh God, I'm a horror. It just makes me, watching all these horror movies with y'all makes me realize what a bad person.
Not bad, just a little. All right, Dave, sir, what is your score and favorite scene for a nasty piece of work?
A nasty piece of work is quite the piece of work. I like this a lot. I'm actually going to go a little bit better than Crystal. I'm going to give it a 4.25.
What?
I think this will definitely come somewhere in the middle of my top 10 for the year. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's very sarcastic and evil and twisted and nasty. Everything you want out of a Christmas movie.
Everything you want out of
it's all there.
It has
all
a
there.
happy ending,
Yeah, I guess in a way. I guess it does. Yeah. Actually, my favorite scene was going to be the same one that Crystal just picked. So
now you got to get another one.
I had to do a backup scene. And this is a really stupid one, but it's the one I wrote down in my notes here. And again, it just showed the caliber of the writing, which is really the key to this whole thing working. But that whole, after they get invited to the party and they're pulling up, and the whole banter about the earring, the snowflake earrings. Does anybody remember this scene?
Yes.
And
he makes he makes that horrible line that says, "We're going to hang with my boss and your earrings scream, I'm from Des Moines." I laughed for 10 minutes. I thought, oh my God, what a horrible thing to say to somebody, And then she goes on to say something about putting the sarcasm in the glove compartment. Yeah. And he says, I feel naked, and she says, oh, they're going to love naked Ted, and they're also going to love my earrings. I just thought that whole thing was just constructed so well. So I'm going to go with that one.
I like that. I like that a lot. Jeff Mohr, sir, what is your favorite scene and score for a nasty piece of work?
Well, in Iowa, in the area of Des Moines, the worst thing we say to people is Peoria.
There's always something worse.
So anyway, but the pronunciation was great. So yeah, this is a fun movie. If you have Hulu and you're not checking these out, I think you're missing out. There's a few that are as good as others, but there are some really good ones mixed into this Into the Dark series. I'm giving this one, I'm not quite as thrilled as Dave and Crystal, but I like this a lot. I'm giving this a 3.75. The favorite scene, I think, kind of, we were talking about the character development. I think when Missy, who was literally billed as the trophy wife, when Julian Sands takes her, is it upstairs into the bedroom?
Yeah.
He's coming on to her, and she shuts him down flat and gets out, extracts herself from the situation. Which, leading up to that, we felt like her and Gavin would literally do anything. And as we find out, Gavin's maybe a little closer than she is. But anyway, I thought that was nice that it did set up that there were limits and there was something else there than just, money grubbing sycophants,
the character work is great and the writing is fantastic and the direction is too. I don't recognize anything from this director Charles Hood, but I think I definitely want to see something else from him soon. I hope he makes as funny and darkly humorous. It's got to be darkly humorous because this is more of a comedy than a horror film, but it hits the notes just right. It is a delight. I'm going to give this a 4 as well. And yeah, it could creep onto my top 10. It's there. It's got the right score and the right tone and flavor. So we'll see. We'll find out soon enough. That'll be cool.
It's hard to believe that.
Month away. Favorite scene? You guys took them all.
Oh, really? Because I thought.
Oh, there's plenty. No, there's plenty. My favorite scene is going to be Daniel.
Oh my God, yes. Oh,
That was so wrong.
It was so wrong.
I think that
was
messed with
so
me
wrong.
more than anything else.
Yeah, when the reveal just killed me. Well, the reveals just killed me. First the reveal, then the reveal on the reveal, and then the reveal on the reveal that revealed something else. It was like so painfully funny, right?
It's wrong. That's what I said when I said we're going to go to hell for liking this one so much. That was so wrong. But you just can't not love it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, the commitment.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm like, wow. Yeah, I could see them doing that. Yeah, like that's what's crazy. You're like, yeah, I buy it totally.
Like when you thought you'd seen it all. So yeah, that was. But I really loved Angela Serafian. I think we've pronounced it 10 different ways, but I absolutely loved her in this film. I think she all but steals it from everybody else. It's not her film. It's really, what did you say, Ted? It's really his film, but who's Kyle Howard, who I was entirely annoyed with at first, man. Even past smashing the glass, the mirrors, I was like, oh, this guy is going to get on my nerves. But by the end, man, I liked him a lot. But yeah, Angela Serafian, liked her a lot.
You said it 3 different ways in one sentence.
Thank you.
I'm sure one of those is right. Totally.
No, I bet they're all wrong. All right, that's our review for A Nasty Piece of Work, the December edition of Into the Dark, a series of movies on Hulu. It releases December 3rd, 2019, which may be just a few days after you're listening to this. If you're listening to this right away, it may be pretty close. One of the rare things where we get it kind of ahead of the game. Yeah, I think this might be some holiday viewing for our horror fans.
I think it's going to go into the holiday horror rotation.
It's a good week. It was a good week. It is a good week.
Yeah, it played really nice, side by side with Fist with Your Toes. Fist with Your Toes.
What?
What?
Come on, you're not getting the Die Hard reference?
Die Hard.
Oh, we have to. Jeff, you were banned from the podcast.
I know. Okay. I'm sorry, everybody. Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yes.
I'm fine with that.
Mhm.
My God.
Yes. What is it? It isn't Christmas till
till Hans Gruber falls off.
Falls from the Nakatomi. Yeah. Every year, man. That's the movie I look forward to. Fist with Your Toes.
Fist with your toes.
All right. Crystal, Jeff, Dave, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
And with that, let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Ho, ho, ho. I've got a gun too.